Hello everybody, my name is Aaliyah. I am making this video because I'm wanting to, one, start off my YouTube channel. I've been saying that for so long, but actually start it up and just kind of open the doors to my life. I live kind of a unique, diverse life, I guess you could say. I am an online fitness coach, a nutritionist, and an exotic dancer. And for those of you who are following me on Instagram or just know me in real life, you know, I've shared quite a bit about my experience as an exotic dancer, but a lot of you guys have been wondering how I got into it, because for those of you who know me, usually you say you never would have anticipated or expected someone like me, and these are not my words, these are words that I've gotten, to be in that industry. And so I'm going to explain, number one, how I got involved in that industry and why I decided to continue in that industry. So I'll just kind of deep dive into this video. I have been in the fitness industry. I just want to make sure it's focused. I have been in the fitness industry my entire life. My family managed a gym for literally 12 years. My mom was a trainer like since I was a baby, like previously before I was born. Just like literally my entire childhood was revolved around fitness. So it was a very natural progression for me to go from high school into becoming a trainer, a nutritionist, and starting my business in the health field. With that being said, I grew up very sheltered. I have the most incredible family. We are very close. There's 4 kids. My parents have been married for 30 something years. I grew up on a farm, and the majority of my life I was homeschooled, and that was by choice. I had a lot of social anxiety growing up, a lot of anxiety in general, and I really did not like crowds. Still to this day, I am an introvert like through and through, and crowds do make me feel very like I need to close in on myself. And so growing up, that's just kind of how I was. I always viewed myself as like a good girl, and just like even to this day, I don't drink. I've never partied, never done drugs. I have not had alcohol in literally, like, I'm 25, since I was 19. So just to give you guys an idea of how I was raised, and then just like how I have viewed myself my whole life, to kind of give you a better understanding of like my progression into dancing, and then why I chose to keep doing it and all that kind of stuff. So grew up very sheltered. At 21, I was full-time personal training, full-time in my business. I think I was making like $4,000 to $6,000 a month, and at 21, that's not bad. Coming from like scratch, like I had very humble beginnings. My parents worked very, very hard to make it work for such a big family. So basically, I was just out of a 3-year relationship, and I decided to move in with one of my girlfriends. We were, yeah, like I said, 20 and 21. I was very naive. She was a little bit of a wild card, just like so much energy, so much fun, and just very like just open to new ideas. And so basically I got home one day and she was dancing around our apartment, and she was like, "Aaliyah, I want to dance." And she explained how one of her friends was dancing and how much money they were making and how she wanted to give it a try. And I was kind of like, oh my God, no. I'd never been to a strip club before, okay? I had never been downtown to party before, nothing like that. So I had no idea what the industry was about. I had all of these misconceptions and ideas and like the stigma around dancing of like what it was like. So I was just like, fuck no. But basically with a little bit of like convincing, she explained to me what it was like, what the industry was all about. And so we went downtown together, and I did not anticipate getting hired there. I did not anticipate working there, but didn't really take much. We literally walked in, got hired on the spot, and I'm like, whatever, I'll just do it for a day. Well, I did it for a night, and had no experience, but my first night I made $700, and that was the most money I'd ever seen in one like sitting in my whole life. And so I was like, oh my gosh, what have I been missing? I could totally do this. And I never had any inhibitions, though very sheltered and like to myself and shy, I would say. I don't know why, I just always felt very comfortable in like my feminine energy. And I did quite a few implied photo shoots when I was in my early 20s, and I just felt very free, very expressed and confident and empowered. So the naked part of dancing never bothered me from the get-go. What did bother me though was the shame that I felt around it. I have always had the idea in my head, and I identified with being this good girl. So when I started dancing, it was this twist, like this plot twist in my head, and I was kind of in this weird phase where I'm like, who am I? Side note, I understand I say like a lot, and it's something that I'm trying to work on, so bear with me. Anyway, also trying to cut out the word like. I'm just trying to take those out of my vocabulary. Additionally, I felt a lot of shame and guilt around dancing, and I was very embarrassed. I was embarrassed to see people that I knew. I thought people were going to judge me. I would literally run and hide. My first year of dancing, I would run and hide in the change room if anybody that I knew came in. But I come from quite a small town, and so it didn't take long for people to start gossiping and for me to start getting messages from people that I knew just saying, what are you doing? This is a gateway to worse things. And is this true? Just a lot of gossip circulating, and I didn't really know how to deal with it. And so I just blocked it out. I didn't really talk about it online. I had somewhat of a social media presence at this time because I was competing, but I just felt really embarrassed because I felt as though I needed to have this certain image, and dancing went against that image. And it took me until now at 25, literally within this last year, to start talking about it online and being very open and vocal about it, because now I feel very empowered by it, and I want to share my experience with other women who either want to start dancing, or who feel inspired by my story, or who feel heard. I just want to share my experience and break the stigma that dancing is wrong. And there's so much, I'm not sure where I just ended off because my camera died, but as I believe I was saying, it's been very recent for me to want to talk about this online, and literally just within the last 6 to 12 months is when I started to open up about it, and the responses that I've gotten have been amazing, and it's all been 95% from women, which I am so thrilled by, because I believe so many women are curious who aren't in this kind of work, are curious about this line of work and want to know more about it, but maybe they're embarrassed too. So I'm just really happy to be able to stand up and share my experience with all of you and talk about it and break stigmas and like give my first-hand experience in this last 4 years that I have been dancing. As this video, as I was saying in this video, how I got into dancing. So I described how I got into it. It was really, really random, very unexpected, had never been to a strip club before. And the reason why I've continued dancing is because of how lucrative it is, and how fun it is, and how it's really not what people think. It's not really how the movies portray it, and it's really, I am not how movies typically, and the majority of dancers are not how the movies and like the stigma of dancing, we're just not like that. Like, for one, again, as I mentioned, I'm completely dead sober, never partied, I've not had a drink in 6 years, and majority of dancers are actually like that. Specifically at the club that I am at, all of them are very athletic, very healthy, and we're just your regular type of woman. I don't understand why dancing has to be connected and correlated with this wrong thing that you need to be careful with. If you play it smart and you play it well, you have an amazing opportunity as a woman to feed yourself up for success. I've recently gotten a financial advisor, gotten into the stock market. I've got a very tunnel vision goal of investing in a house in the next year. I would love to have rental properties, and this is all very, very realistic, and it's very realistic because I dance and because I can provide for myself in specifically a city that costs an absolute fortune. So yeah, that's how I got into dancing, and that's why I dance, and there doesn't need to be this icky yucky feeling around it. One thing that I wanted to dive into that I've gotten a question on as well is how my family reacted. And honestly, I'm very, very blessed. I have a very supportive family. As long as I'm happy, healthy, and safe, my family doesn't really care what we do as long as we're not hurting anybody or hurting ourselves. And when I say we, I mean me and my siblings. But basically, I told my mom I was dancing right away. I know this can be a really tough and touchy topic for dancers and women in this type of work. I told my mom right away within the first week. She literally didn't act surprised. She was just like, well, I kind of anticipated you do something like this, so I'm glad that it is this. And then over the course of a few months, I told my siblings. It took me a few years to tell my dad, and I wasn't actually the one to tell my dad, somebody else did, but he responded in such a supportive way, and I think he was more upset that I didn't tell him and I wasn't completely honest with him, more so than the fact that I was dancing. So that just kind of goes to show like what kind of upbringing I had. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video somewhat short and sweet. This is going to be the first of many videos on my overall lifestyle as a nutritionist and a dancer. I'm open to all questions. I'm going to link where you guys can find more of me below with my Instagram, my TikTok, and my very new Twitter. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to message me on any of those handles or comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. I wanted to keep it really short and sweet. There's going to be plenty more videos to come, and I'm very excited to dive into this world with you.